Hey YouTube, what's happening? This is going to be part 2 of the suicidal videos that I'm making, and this one is going to be titled Suicidal Thoughts, Tendencies, Slipping into Darkness. And what I want to talk about in this video is basically how everything started, how everything climaxed, how everything like came together, bunched up and culminated, and caused me to go over the deep end, and the attempts I made at suicide. I want to get into this type of thing so that you can basically, even if you think you have a friend that might be suicidal, you want to look for the signs, or you want to look for the things that cause the signs, the triggers. We're going to talk about the ex-girlfriend that basically, I would say, really caused me to slip into a depression and thereby caused me to commit suicide. And again, I want to say to people is that do not, and I repeat, do not pedestalize anyone. Do not place your trust, your feelings, and your emotions in anyone. They are human beings. They are incapable of doing what God does for you. They are incapable of loving the way that you are supposed to be loved. They can love you to a certain degree, but the way that God loves you compared to how people love you will never be the same. You understand? And that's one of the main reasons you don't wanna put your all into anyone. I love my wife, but I'm not putting my all into my wife, because my wife can and will fail me at the designated time that is given to her. You understand? And same with me for my wife. I can fail my wife at the time designated to me. Now, anyway, we want to get back into the story about how I met this girl, how the relationship went and what caused everything. When I met R, and again, like I said, it's not that I'm afraid to call anybody's name, but I'm just not that type of person. Just not that type of person. I don't really like smearing people's name. Whether she smear my name or not, she can't smear my name without calling herself a slut right now. So when I met R, it was through family. We would always go to the country because my father, he was from a parish. In Jamaica, we call our counties parishes. Or our states. We call our states parishes. So my dad was from the parish or the state of St. Elizabeth. And I really liked it down there. I liked the country. As an uptown guy, the city boy and stuff like that, I really liked the country. I liked the scenery. I liked the animals. I like the air. I like the fact that your neighbors live like 5 minutes or 10 minutes down the road and not right next to you. I just kind of like that sort of seclusion where, nobody's right next door to you to get nosy in your business. So I met R through one of my cousins. She was my cousin's best friend at the time. And what was happening was that, we had a family gathering at my uncle's house, and she was there, and my other cousins were there, and everyone was kind of like, hitting on her and stuff like that. And I didn't really pay her any mind, because I'm just like the type of person who like if every guy talking to a girl, I'm just turned off by that, because I'm like, I'm not that type of guy where I'm gonna be another guy. Like, she could be the only girl at the party. I don't give a shit. I'm not talking to you, man. Like, I probably might just go out and go talk to somebody else. And so what happened is that she and I basically, exchanged numbers, got together, whatever it is. She chose me out of my cousins and out of other people that were there at the party. So, we got together, we formed a relationship, and I basically lived 3 hours away from her, and we had to make the best of our relationship through texting. Now, in the beginning of the relationship, I would see her at the end of every month. At that time, I was not driving. So I would see her at the end of every month. And we were together for basically 3 years. I met her in basically the end of the year 2000. And we were together for 3 years when stuff happened between us. Now things were going great in my life at that time, and then a lot of stuff started happening. And we're gonna start with one of the major hits I took to my life is that my best friend died in a car accident. And I really took it to heart when he died, because I grew up with the guy. I've known the guy since, basically our eyes were at our knees. We grew up playing together. We grew up, dating girls together. And so for him to die, it really damaged me in a certain way. You understand? I had a lot of love. I had a lot of brotherly love for the man. You know what I mean? Saw the man like a brother. We're best friends and stuff like that. In any case, the thing about it is that now, because he died, so many things changed in me mentally. I became uncertain about my life, or how long I would live before I would die, or am I next, and things like that. And instead of trusting in God with my feelings and my emotions, I gave my feelings and my emotions over to a woman. And again, I have to turn to scripture, to what Jesus himself said. Jesus said, "Do not give what is sacred to dogs, neither cast your pearls to swine, because they will in turn trample it and turn around and trample you." What does Jesus mean by that? Jesus means that what he was trying to say is that the value that you have on that, someone else cannot understand its value. They'll just throw it down, destroy it, and then turn around and destroy you. So me giving this girl the most vulnerable side of me, the most valuable side of me, was the most wrong thing I've done, because I've given what is sacred to a dog, and I've cast my pearls, my sacredness, my treasure to swine. And she cannot understand. So like I said before, I have to take responsibility for what I did wrong. You understand? She did stuff wrong, but I'm not gonna excuse myself, right? She is a slut. I call her that. She's a slut. But what I did, it never made my situation any easier either. I have to take responsibility for that, or else I'll end up making that mistake again. So anyway, because my best friend died, I became heavily dependent on the relationship. My best friend died in 2003 when I was 20 years old. I just had turned 20 in July, and he died in September. So it was a big hit to me. And I was still a virgin. Yeah, so the thing is that the reason why I was still a virgin is that I was holding on to that until marriage. And let me tell you something, people. I was very serious about my virginity. I was very serious about getting married with my virginity and stuff like that. I was still having wet dreams where, you understand, you wake up and you know what, I know you guys understand and know exactly what I'm talking about at the age of 20 years old. I know many people lost their virginities early, but I was not ready. Even though there were a lot of girls who were trying to give it to me, and there are times that I almost slipped and fell into that. You understand? Because I used to touch girls up, I used to grab up and I used to put fingers in places and stuff like that. But I just was not gonna have sex, and I did my best to avoid that sometimes, because I knew that I was weak whenever I was around girls, and like the saddest thing, and your penis is standing up and you're like, yo, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? So I did my best, because I knew I was weak. I avoided certain situations with my girlfriends, and even with the one that I was dating at that time, because I was saying yo, we can get married, and I'll deal with the sex and all the things there, but whatever. In any case, I became dependent upon her. I idolized her, and I put her on a pedestal. Wrong thing. Remember what the Lord says, one of his commandments is, "Thou shalt have no God before me." And putting anyone on a pedestal is making them a god. You are committing idolatry. You're making them an idol, which means fake god. That's what idol means. Idol means fake god or image of a god. You understand? In any case, so the relationship got hot and heavy. On Christmas Day of 2003, I lost my virginity. The best 5 seconds of my life. Yo, who can really say that? Who can really say that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I'm crying. So anyway, you know, lost my virginity to her on Christmas Day, and you know, I called it making love, whatever it is, blah 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 blah. Come into the new year now, and by the way, I did not know if she was a virgin or not a virgin at that time. She never mentioned it. She said she was a virgin and stuff, but if I go back and look at it, I don't believe she was. In any case, what happened is that, you know, in January now, that also, you know, the sex solidified my feelings towards this woman. And I'm here to tell you people, sex is not just sex. Sex solidifies your relationship to somebody. You yourself have spiritually been entwined with that person. You become one with them in spirit. So no matter what people say, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the Bible says, and you need to understand this. I tell you, the Bible tells you a lot of things, you know. You can get spiritually tied to somebody. You can get sexually, spiritually tied to somebody through sex. And that's why I'm here to warn people. That's why I'm trying to say that, you know, if I could have avoided it, I would have avoided it and waited until marriage. But I didn't. You understand? So if you can, avoid having sex before marriage. If not, do your best to protect yourself spiritually and physically, and also from diseases. You understand what I'm saying? In any case, listen. The new year came, right? And she started to act very, very suspicious. Now, we've been together for 3 years. Nobody can tell me that her doing suspicious things is only in my mind. I've been with somebody for 3 years. I know exactly how you act. I know how you text. I know basically majority of the things I need to know about you, even though I haven't visited you a lot. So she started to act suspicious. And even her mother would call me and tell me that she's like doing some suspicious behavior and stuff like that. And I would call her up and say, yo, what's up? Your mother complaining about some things, you know, what you doing? So anyway, when the suspicion had gotten like to a point where I realized that something is extremely off, I would start asking very, 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 very suspicious questions. And what I mean by that is like, sometimes you can get answers by asking certain questions without letting the person know that you're onto them or onto what they are doing. And so basically she one day she lied to me about something, and her mother caught her in the lie. And I didn't even say to her that you lied to me. I said to her, why did you lie to your mother about what you were doing and you were caught doing something else? And she looked at me directly and she said, why are you accusing me of cheating? And I said to her, I am not accusing you of cheating, but you know, if the cap fits, wear it. You know, that's a Bob Marley song. If the cap fits, wear it. So I basically said to her, you know, if the cap fits, wear it. And she was basically like, you know, going on and on and on and on. And you know, I kind of dropped it on them things there, and she started to curse me out, and I started to curse her out, and I said, yo, listen, I'm done. You understand? I'm not going to deal with a woman that I can't trust. And so, you know, I didn't mean that though, but I hung up the phone on her. And I was like, yo, this relationship is at an end. I'm done with it. And I hung up on her, and she called, like not even a good 1 minute. She called back crying in tears. Please don't leave me. I really love you. I'm so sorry I've been acting like this. You have to trust me. You have to believe me. I'm not doing anything. I'm blah, blah. I can't lose you, etc., etc., etc. And so basically I'm like, all right, I took the girl back, right? I gave the girl my virginity. I mean, like, I don't know nothing else. You understand? I've been with this girl for 3 years. I don't know anything else. You understand? My father and I did not have that talk. You understand? And I think it's very important. Like I said before, my father is going to play a very important role when we get to part 3 video, where he snapped me out of it with some things that he said to me. And I think it was very important that my father was there at that point in time helping me through, you know, what I was going through. He didn't help me like directly and stuff. There are some indirect ways that he helped me, and I thought it was really helpful with what he did. And so basically, you know, it came to Valentine's Day, and the day before Valentine's Day, again, she was not where she told her mother would be. Her sister caught her lying, her mother caught her lying, her friends caught her lying, and even my cousin, who was supposed to be her best friend, caught her lying and was telling me how she was lying about stuff and blah 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 blah. And I basically said that, okay, let me call her up and see what's up. So I called her up now, and she was like, you know, she was lying because, you know, she had to do something else and she didn't want anybody to worry or anything like that. And I'm like, I said to her, you don't need to lie. You just need to tell people what you're doing and that they don't need to worry about it. You understand? But when you go around and you lie, all you do is just like create more problems for yourself, more than is actually even necessary. So anyway, she basically mouthed off on me. I mouthed off on her and stuff, and she says that I don't trust her and I should trust her, and all I'm doing is accusing her of cheating. Let me tell you something, I've never even said to her once that I accuse you of cheating. Not once have I said that you're a cheater or I don't trust you. I told her I don't trust her, but I've never told her that she was cheating. So anyway, we got to the point where, you know, an argument broke out, and she was like, you know, you should just break up with me and done and stuff like that and whatever it is. I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. So anyway, you know, but the thing is that I was already on my way to her place. Like I said before, she lived 3 hours away from where I lived. And the thing is that what I used to do when we were dating is that, because of how the long distance relationship, what I would do is go down to her place and stay over the weekend and bring extra clothes with me, so that when I left her house on Monday morning, bright and early, to come back into where the area that I lived to go to work, I would bring my work clothes with me as well. And so, you know, I was already on my way down to her area, you know, 3 hour bus ride and stuff like that. And basically, I was over my cousin's house to give her a surprise. So when she was like going on and stuff like that, I said that I bet you that when my cousin brings her over, she'll be surprised. So I brought her over, and my cousin brought her over, and I was like, surprise, you know, happy Valentine's Day when it comes, you know, because it was the day before Valentine's Day. And then she was like, oh, you know, whatever, oh, I love you, I'm so sorry, and she was crying and whatever it is. So basically, you know, we sat down, we had a conversation. I was talking to her, and I was like, you can't behave like this and expect people to trust you. And I'm not even talking me, I'm talking about your mother, because her mother and I had a really good relationship. And that's the thing about me, like most women's mother that I have met, the girls that I've dated, when I've met their parents, I've gotten along with the father and I've gotten along with the mother. I don't always get along with the brothers, but I always get along with the parents. You understand? So anyway, I said to her, you can't be doing this. You need to stop lying to your mother about stuff and be truthful with her, because, you know, I've heard stuff. In any case, what happened is that after that, now she apologized, and, you know, we made love. Valentine's Day came, we exchanged gifts, whatever it is. And so on Valentine's Day, what happened is that she you know, she had to go get some prescription for her mother, and so I was left on her bed in her bedroom. And so when she left, you know, I got out of her bed and stuff. And oh, by the way, people, when I was in my area before Valentine's Day, I was praying to God, and I said, God, just give me the truth. At any cost, God, just give me the truth. And to be honest with you people, anytime I pray that prayer to God, Ever since I prayed that prayer to God, anytime I pray that prayer, I become afraid because I know that God will give me the truth at any cost. So I said, God, if she's cheating, please let me know regardless of what the truth is. And so she left me there and she went to go get the prescription for her mother. When she went to get the prescription for her mother and stuff, I was left in her room. And so I saw her books. And I was just like, looking through her books. And she had a stack of books. And I was like saying, I wonder what her penmanship is like in school. I said, like, so the funniest thing is, it wasn't even the book that was on top of all the books that I chose. It was the book that was not even in the middle. I just don't know why I chose this book. It felt like I was led to choose this book. And so I chose this book. And let me tell you what happened. A note dropped out of the book. And so I started to smile. I was like, must be some stupid girly note. I'm gonna read it. And then I started to read it. And it was a stupid girly note. It was a note between her and a girlfriend in her class. And so the note read, and as I read the note, I found out in the note that she was cheating because that's what she was talking about in the note. Let me tell some people, God is good. You understand? How is it that I decided that I was going to check her books and even check that particular book and find the note? How? None of you can tell me. None of you can give me an answer. It's not by chance. It's by design. Anyway, so the note, I read the note and, it was her admitting to cheating. It was her admitting to having the guys come up in her. And it was her admitting that, if she was pregnant, like the friend was saying, are you going to make Kermani take care of the child? And she was like, no, not that. Goodness, she was actually like that too. But, man, when I read it, I just started to cry. And the mother, I was there with the mother, and the mother heard me crying, and she was asking me what's wrong. I said nothing. I just started to cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. And her little brother came in and asked me what's wrong. I said nothing. And cry. And then the sister came in and said, what's up? And I started to cry. And then eventually she came home and she saw me crying. She said, what's wrong? And I froze. I could not say anything to her. I don't know what was going on with my body. I just started to slip into darkness. And, she was like, what happened to you? And stuff like that. And I just couldn't talk to her. And then I had the note in my hand and I put the note on her bed. And I walked away and went into the bathroom. And I was just like, I turned on her shower. And I just was like having the shower beat on my head and stuff like that. And, I was crying and she came in the bathroom and she was like, now listen to this. She didn't say she was sorry. She was like, oh, she can't change what happened and stuff like that. And if I want to walk away, you can walk away. What a bitch. And if I had any sense at that point in time, like some regular Jamaicans, I'd have beat the shit out of her for that. Because she showed no, like even when the relationship ended, and there are times when she tried to hit me up after the relationship ended, she had no remorse. Neither has she, like even to this day, she has not apologized for what she's done. She's not apologized for what she's done to me. You understand? And that's how she treated me. She treated me like shit from there on out. And that's part of the reasons why I continue to slip into darkness, because even though I left her alone and was trying to just hurt and heal, she and the guy that she slept with did not leave me alone and stuff. I never said anything bad to her. I never said anything bad about her. I wanted her back so bad. But she and the guy basically, anyway. So, let's get into the next video. I'm sorry, I don't want it to be past like 30 minutes or 25 minutes. It's basically 25 minutes now. So the third video is gonna talk about the suicidal acts. Sorry about that. I tried to make this short, but I didn't. But that's what happened. She admitted to sleeping with 3 guys. She slept with the guy, she slept with his cousin, and she slept with the guy's best friend, and all of them climaxed inside her that night. So whoever it is that would have been, whoever it is that would have been the dad, that would have been their problem. In any case, though, people, enough love and respect, and again, don't take suicide lightly. It's not something funny. If you hear anybody joke about it or anything like that, take them seriously. Check up on them. Make sure you check up on them every hour. Make sure you check up on them every like, if you check up on them in the morning, check up on them in the evening, in the afternoon, the night. Like, if it's a best friend that you can stay over their home with them, do that. Don't let people slip into darkness. We're going to talk about like slipping into further darkness and the suicidal acts that I committed or tried to commit in the next video. Enough love and respect. Stay blessed, Littles.